Have you ever had something happen that completely changed how you viewed yourself? Maybe it was a lost job, maybe a relationship ended, maybe a dream didn't work out. For me, one of those moments came when I lost a leadership position. And while it was painful at the time, looking back, it taught me lessons that success never could. That's one reason Phil Robertson's book, I Could Be Wrong, but I Doubt It, resonated with me. On the surface, the title is funny, but underneath the humor is a serious message about faith, humility, suffering, and letting God shape your character. One passage that stood out to me was Matthew 23. Jesus was speaking to the people who love titles, recognition, and being seen as important. They wanted the best seats, the highest positions, the respect that came with the status. But Jesus said something completely different. The greatest among you shall be your servant. That's easy to read. It's harder to live. Years ago, I thought leadership was something you achieved. Work hard, get promoted, earn the title, reach the next level. But after losing that position, I learned something I couldn't have learned any other way. A title can be taken away. Your character cannot. When the title disappeared, I had to ask myself a difficult question. Was my identity in the position, or was my identity in Christ? That wasn't an easy lesson. There were moments of frustration, moments when I had to fight bitterness, and that's where Romans 5 becomes real. Paul writes, "We rejoice in our sufferings because sufferings produce endurance. Endurance produces character, and character produces hope." Most of us want hope. Most of us want character. Very few of us want suffering that produces them. But God often does his greatest work during our hardest seasons. Looking back, I can see that the setback became the classroom, and disappointment became the teacher, and the struggle became the opportunity to grow. Phil Robertson talks throughout the book about trusting God instead of ourselves. That's easy when things are going well. It's much harder when life doesn't go according to plan. Another section that hit home was in Ephesians 4. Paul tells believers to put off the old self, speak truth. Don't let the sun go down in your anger. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth. Put away bitterness, wrath, anger, and slander. Be kind to one another. Forgive one another. That's not just good advice. That's a blueprint for what to do after you've been hurt. Because when setbacks happen, bitterness is always an option, but so is growth. You can become angry, or you can become stronger. You can become resentful, or you can become grateful. You can let hardship harden your heart, or you can let God shape your character. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that success doesn't reveal who we are. Sometimes failure does. Sometimes loss does. Sometimes disappointment does. When everything is stripped away, that's when we discover what we're really standing on. Phil Robertson's book reminded that our worth isn't found in a title, a position, or what other people think of us. Found in Christ. The world tells us to climb higher. Jesus tells us to serve. The world tells us to promote ourselves. Jesus tells us to humble ourselves. And often the lessons that change us the most come through the struggles we never would have chosen. Today I'm grateful for the victories, but I'm also grateful for the setbacks, because some of the greatest lessons God has taught me came after I lost the title I thought I needed. If you're going through a difficult season right now, don't waste the struggle. God may be using it to build endurance, character, and hope. And one day, you may look back and realize that what felt like a loss was actually one of God's greatest gifts he actually gave you. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what challenges in your life ended up teaching you the most.